the morning great with a stop at Whistle Stop Donuts on West Main Street in Princeton. Whistle Stop makes their donuts fresh daily, and they're ready on your way to work or school. They have a wide variety of fresh donuts, so you can surprise the office with a dozen delicious donuts. Stop by Whistle Stop today and enjoy a donut or a dozen. They're open 5 a.m. to noon Monday through Saturday. Whistle Stop Donuts on West Main in Princeton.
It's 5 after 8 o'clock, and good morning. It is Tiger Talk on WPKY The Tiger. It's Wednesday, and that means it is our extension show. And I have the pleasure of welcoming into the WPKY studio this morning, RHONDA JEWELL, agent for 4-H. How are you?
I'm great. How are you all?
Well, we are here. We are winding down toward the end of the year.
Yep.
Christmas time is a-coming.
It is.
And what is going on with you and 4-H? I know it's a busy time of year for you.
Well, believe it or not, things have kind of coming to an end, so things are kind of slowing down for the year. I'm just going to kind of recap on some of the things that happened over the last several weeks, because November was an extremely busy month for me.
Right.
I honestly don't know how I lived through it, but
You
anyway,
made it.
I survived.
Good deal.
And hopefully I'll survive Christmas and the new year, and looking forward to 2018. We did have our poinsettia sales, which is one of our larger fundraisers for the year. We sold 550, and Matt Hallam was our top seller, and he gets $50 cash. And we just want to thank all those that bought, those that support 4-H through our poinsettia sales. And again, we had a great time. I actually had to rely on my volunteers because I was in Atlanta for the National 4-H Congress.
I was going to ask you about that here.
Yes, and I had some very dedicated volunteers that went out and helped.
Helping the distribution and getting everything sold.
They unloaded the truck for one thing, and
goodness.
that's and getting them sorted and stuff. And I want to put a shout out to Candy Adams, Mindy Morgan, Stephanie Hallam, and Matt Hallam, as well as Vicki Hatler. Vicki has it down to a science, and she keeps it very organized, and it just she makes things very easy on us. So again, I want to thank all of them for their help, and anybody else that may have, as well as Madison Crider and Emma Costco. They came on Monday afternoon and helped load things and stuff. So anyway, I just want to thank everyone for that.
Awesome.
We also had a really fun weekend at 4-H camp back in November on the 17th and 18th, and this is a program we started last year. It's called Stuck in the Middle, and it's basically a overnight camping experience, kind of like a mini teen retreat for middle school kids. We had 4 from our county, and the numbers were up to, I believe it was 102. We had the numbers doubled from last year, so we're really excited. Yes. We had a really good weekend, and the kids all had a good time. They had opportunities to take leadership workshops or just different fun shops. I taught a photography class, and the kids just had a good time and had a chance to meet people and even reconnect with people they may have known before. Good. We also had our banquet. The banquet was November the 20th. It was held at the Research Center, and we had 115 in attendance. It was our biggest banquet yet, and I was just really excited because there were only, I believe, 4 or 5 kids that were invited or that had participated in state events that couldn't be there, and this was a first. And I realized, there were ball games and different things like that, but it just really, they made a good presence, and again, we just had a great turnout, great crowd, great meal, and the kids all got. Excuse me.
I know how you feel. It happens to me all the time.
The kids got recognized for the things that they had done, and we also have and as well as our volunteers. Also, the volunteers that were there, they also get recognized. Yeah. And we also have started several years ago another fundraiser, and this is a dessert auction that I don't know how many years it's been going on, probably 5 or 6 or maybe even, I don't know, 5 or 6 years, maybe even 6, 7. Wayne Cash leads our auction typically.
That's always fun.
He is a hoot.
He's a hoot.
He is a real, he's a gem, I tell you.
He is. He's a dandy, as they say.
That is true. That is true. Well, he helped us raise $1,500, so we were really tickled. We did have an anonymous donor who donated some UK basketball tickets, some of the boys and girls. So those are some high-price items. We also raffle off a country. Excuse me, not raffle, but we also auction off a country ham, and that's another kind of big item. So
and that's a ham that the kids make, isn't it? From
it
the,
is.
Ham project.
It is. It is. So anyway, and all the council members make desserts, and they go for different prices, and some go and go and go, and
a lot of
keep
those
on
people
going.
can really bake.
They can. Yes, they can.
I like the homemakers auction too. That's
Yes.
always a good one.
Yes.
And I think some of the homemakers kick in and make desserts for you, don't they?
They do.
Yeah.
Well, kind of overlap.
Yeah.
Sandra Roberts is one, for example.
Exactly.
I bought her German chocolate cake at
Oh
the
my
homemaker banquet.
gosh, yeah.
Let me tell you,
Oh yeah.
it was the best.
There-
And she
there's
made
no doubt.
another one, and I would have. There was no way I could have gotten in the bid for that though, because it went pretty high.
I've had
but
about. I look like I've had about 500 chocolate cakes in the
Oh,
last week.
me too. I feel like it too.
Oh, goodness.
And we also, that same week, the day after Thanksgiving, Gage Hendon and I left out for Atlanta. We went to Lexington to fly out with the rest of the group, and
I
there
saw
were
that big group on I think, on
29,
Facebook, yeah.
29 kids and 5 adults, and we went to Atlanta, stayed in the Hyatt Regency, and most of the events were held there. Most of the speakers and stuff, that's where we did most of the things. However, we did get out into the city some. But it was a very wonderful experience. I'm so
your
glad
first
that I
trip,
went. It was
wasn't
my
it?
first
Yeah.
time. Actually, they rotate the districts. We have 7 districts in Kentucky, and they rotate each year. It's a different district's responsibility. And it just so happened that it was this year, and it just so happened that I had a teen. And anyway,
good.
and it's kind of like going back home for me. So any
Right.
chance I can get to go back to Atlanta, I go.
Sure.
But it was a really, really
Great
good
town.
opportunity. Had some great speakers. Matt Rush is from New Mexico. He was an awesome speaker. He did the introduction speaker, but one of the ones that stood out the most, he was on the Sunday before we left. His name is Dr. Eugene Schoenfeld. I
Okay.
probably didn't pronounce that right, but he's 92 years old, and he was the last living survivor this side of the Mississippi of the Holocaust. And he has spoken at the National Congress for many years. His story was absolutely
I bet
amazing.
you could hear a pin drop. in
You
that place,
could,
yeah.
and the tears were flowing.
Oh,
It
yeah.
was just absolutely awesome. Miss America was also there the last night,
Nice.
as well as the national president of Farm Bureau.
Okay.
I actually did miss that night. I met and had dinner with a friend, so
Okay.
I did get to miss that.
And
but
then Gage was there because of something that he yeah.
yes, he as well as the other 29 that were there were the 30 gold.
Yes.
There, that's part of our achievement system, and it's part of the incentive for the achievement program. They get to count all of the things that they've done over time, and it just kind of builds and
Kinda
builds and builds. He got his bronze, his silver, and then his gold. And then part of the incentive or part of the reward for getting your gold is you get a free scholarship, or you get a scholarship to Teen Conference, which is in Lexington the second week in June, and then also you get to go to National Congress. And the trip was a $1,000 trip. The state 4-H or the foundation pays $800, and our council paid the other $200. So
Great.
it was really an expense-paid trip for him, and it was so neat to see these kids that a lot of them didn't know one another. Some of them may have known a few, and they really started off really uncomfortable. But you just could see the walls just kind of come down, and that's one of the great things about 4-H is you get to see walls come down, and you get to see kids blossom, and they're away from their friends, and they're making new friends, and it was really neat just to watch this group.
And it's valuable life skills, really,
Oh,
because it
definitely.
puts you in situations where later on in life or in your job that you have to learn to meet new people, interact with new people, and just good important life skills.
Exactly. And, a lot of these kids, it was the first time they'd ever flown. And the first time many of them had ever been in a train, much less a big city. So
You took the MARTA or something.
we
around?
did.
Yeah.
We did. From the airport, took the MARTA,
Yeah.
and it was, it was a cool experience. They saw some things that were, not typical, and had
Yeah.
people beg and different
Yeah,
things.
I mean, you
and
see things. You're exposed to different things when you're in a big city. so-
exactly.
so
Exactly. But it was a great time.
Sounds
and
like a great trip.
It is, and Gage had he had a really, really good experience, and I'm glad I got to experience that with him also.
That's great.
It's a good way to go out of your 4-H career,
It
I
is,
guess you could say.
and I guess a lot of kids don't necessarily make it to that level,
No.
do they?
No,
I mean, that's
no,
quite an
actu-
achievement to make it to that level.
Exactly. We're in the middle of that right now. Also, we just had interviews for the gold, and we had 3 from our county that applied: Madison Crider, Matt Hallam, and Maddox Cummins. And we're waiting to see what the results are from that, and if there will be 10 that will go on for the interview across the state. So there'll be 70, and then they knock it down to 30.
Wow.
So it is very
Yeah, it's
competitive.
competitive. Wow.
But again, it is an incentive trip, and it's an incentive for kids to do this, and
Right.
and the glory in all of this, they're keeping records, and it's making them learn to keep records. And then when they graduate or when they're seniors and they're applying for scholarship
Yeah,
applications,
they've got a portfolio.
they've
full of
got
stuff.
it right there.
Yeah.
It's already done for them,
That's great.
and they can start in the 6th grade. And I've got some 6th graders that are fixing to get started, and so
That's excellent.
anyway, yep.
Good job.
We also had our trash sculpture contest. We had the school, the county, and the regional contest the day after I got back from Atlanta. And we had several winners. We didn't have anyone that placed at the regional contest. Sometimes we do. Just didn't happen to do so this year. But anyway, proud of all those that did, and they'll be getting their checks before long. And hopefully we'll be able to work it where we can go to the fiscal court. We always like to go to fiscal court and have the kids at least have that experience to, to
Get
see what.
recognized there and see how it works.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Good deal.
And then this Friday, we got some fun stuff coming up. Our District 7 ice skating trip or our District 7 winter trip. We're going ice skating to Owensboro.
Nice.
And we have a group of 72 kids from District 7, which is from Fulton County, as well as including District 5, which goes all the way to Bowling Green. So we're going to have a lot of kids.
Bunch of kids on the rink.
Exactly. And we hope we have.
Break out the pucks and the sticks. And let's go at
Yes, and please no accidents.
it. No, tape your ankles.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, that's a fun trip. I mean,
It
you
is.
know, it's Christmas time, and to be on the ice and to attempt to skate.
Yeah.
I mean, some of them get out there and just start skating. But,
Yeah.
But what a good trip.
It is, and we're going to go. There's several places to see lights and
Yeah, you get to
experience
Christmas
that,
spirit.
and so yeah. So anyway, that will be this Friday, and then not much else is going on. We do have sign-ups for our Unit 2 on up sewing project. So if anyone was in the sewing project last year and wants to be included again this year, then they may call and sign up at the extension office. But things will hit hard in January. We do have some new opportunities coming up, and I almost forgot to mention Karen Hester, who is a teacher at the elementary school. She's a music teacher. Her kids grew up in the 4-H horse program in Livingston County, and she has just recently gone to get certified to be a certified leader. So we are going to have a horse club in Caldwell County. Yay.
That is great. That's
Wanting
great
it for a long
news.
time, yes.
Yeah.
And we've just got to get together to get our plan, and then after the first of the year, we'll start with meetings so they can get their 6 hours. And that way, if they want to go to horse camp or if they want to do horse shows, they'll have their education
There's
hours
enough
behind
horse
them.
people. 'Cause,
Oh, yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. We've
and there's lots of folks that lots of horses here in this county, and lots
Yeah.
of folks are involved in it. So that's just another addition to our 4-H program.
Yep.
That's going to be certified.
We also have a poultry club that is going to start, and
that's
this is
fun.
going to, it is.
Love chickens.
It's one of the easiest projects to do if you want to do a livestock, or it's not livestock, but if you want to do an animal project,
Yeah.
it's one of the easiest to do. Heath Cummins is going to be the leader. Maddox
Yeah,
Cummins, his
yeah,
son, is going to
yeah,
help,
he'll do a
and
great job.
we're really excited
Can we
about
just
poultry
call it the
also.
chicken club, though? No,
Yeah.
I just think it's kind of.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, they'll probably-
chicken club.
They'll probably come up with a name. The chicken people are really
I'm telling you.
they're very competitive at the
They
state
are.
contest, and they really get they have T-shirt contest and different things. So I'm kind of excited. But
that is really neat.
Well,
and Heath and Maddox will do a great job with that as well. Yeah.
exactly. There's a lot of people that have just backyard chickens,
Yeah.
and we even have a chicken coop at camp now.
That's good. Y'all, everybody needs a chicken coop.
We
I mean,
do.
Why not?
I guess so.
But that's great. I know you stay very busy. And last week it was Ashley here for the extension program. I know things are winding down at the office kind of for the year.
Yes.
But you're getting geared up for big 2018.
Exactly.
And I know you are in 4-H as well. So It's always the month. I mean, you live with your calendar, and you do a great job with it. And thanks for what you do for our kids. And I know they're appreciative, and I know all of us here in the county, because the 4-H agent is a busy person.
Thank you. I am busy, but it keeps me focused.
Yes, it does. Thank you so much for being here today. Anything else? Did we miss anything?
Not that I can think of.
Okay. Well, Merry Christmas to you and your family, and all the 4-Hers out there. Again, thank you for what you do, and we'll see you, I guess, in 2018, won't we?
Yes, sure will.
Okay. That's going to wrap up this edition of Tiger Talk, our extension program with 4-H agent Rhonda Jewell. And if you have any questions about 4-H or need to get in touch with Rhonda, be sure you call out to our UK extension office at 62 West, 365-2787, I think. Isn't that right?
Yes.
I know that, yeah.
Yeah.
I had my moment. 2787. I say that number all the time. I didn't say it enough this morning, but that's how you get in touch with Rhonda or any of our fine agents out at the University of Kentucky Extension Office. That's going to do it for us today at 8:21. Thank you for joining us on Tiger Talk, and have a wonderful Wednesday, everybody.
String Beans Coffee House in downtown Princeton specializes in made-to-order